Hello guys, my name is Nadas Gutauskas. I'm originally from Lithuania. I live just now in Scotland, and what I would like to do with you today, guys, just share my success story. As an immigrant, I came to UK about 2009, and I started to work at car wash in Scotland, and it was quite tough, I had no experience on selling, on English, on anything. I just came like that, to Scotland, as I'm started to work at car wash. I started from bottom to up. First when I started, I just washed cars. Then I become a manager of a branch, and I decided to leave a school, and I stayed in Scotland, in UK, and from where on my career began. I worked in car wash for over 2 years, and I learned quite a lot. I become a person who understands people, from point of sales of view, and from there on, I worked in car wash, but I worked and I wasn't satisfied with myself. I wasn't happy. I was just I couldn't find my place, in the world, with this job, and I remember one year, I just worked, I just broke even, just paid my rent, and everything. I lived with my girlfriend, and it didn't work out. So I decided to leave. And I remember it was a sunny day, and I just and with owner of a company, we just said bye bye, and have a good journey. So I left car wash. At that point, I had expensive rent on my shoulders. I had really quite a lot of bills to pay, and I was really I was really lost. I thought, oh wow, I done. And I remember I was driving to my house, and my girlfriend opened the door, and she said, what happened? And I was crying, and then she say, what happened? I say, I left my job, darling. And she say, what we gonna do? But she kind of supported me, and she say, okay, everything gonna be okay, just all will be fine, don't give up. We'll sort something out, and about a month after that, I couldn't find my feet. I was always working. I worked 7 days a week, as a manager of a branch, and I really was. I kind of felt like a holidays from another point of view, but I knew I have to pay my bills, So I said, what I will do, I say, I have to find something, and I applied to all sorts of different jobs, like factory, just to get any job, to move on, because I lost my job. So at that point of view, I couldn't. No one's replied, and was just no. We call you, It was no great time, for leaving job, because it was early spring, So, and I was wondering what I will do, and suddenly, I received. I just seen an advertise, sales and marketing company advertising for a marketing, person, and I was quite interested, because it was. I always felt, that sales is my path, and I applied, and I didn't get any results straight away. But in a couple days, I was playing basketball with my guys, and suddenly I received a mail from. I received a phone call, from marketing manager saying that we would like to, select you for a first round interview, And I was so excited. I remember I came to house. I was so excited. I even didn't tell my girlfriend, I wanted to do a surprise if I'll get a job, I was so sure I'll get this job and so nervous, So next morning it was an interview, so I get ready, my car and everything. And I was going to that office. It was about 30 minutes from where I lived, and all the way, I was all nervous, sweating, I thought, I need to get this job, I thought it must be it, it must be my chance, So then I received this job, okay, sorry, I was second round interview, okay, and I get this, and they said, we'll call you next morning, and I remember waiting for my phone call, waiting, and I was at gym at that time, and they didn't call me, till they told me they'll call before 6, and they didn't. I thought, nah, oh well, but about 10 minutes past 6, good news for me, they called me, and they said, I remember, we would like to give you an opportunity to join us, if you wish, and I said, I'm great, yeah, I want this job, so they say by Monday, come to office, we'll start work, but before Monday, I didn't know what job is, all I knew just sales and marketing, So I was driving Monday all weekend, past, I didn't know what job was like. They just told me that kind of, commission, it was only commission, was no basic at all. So I thought, quite a challenge, my rent's still on, and everything. But I did go I did went to that job, Monday. And I remember first time, we came with car, to doors, and when we started to door to door, sales, and I didn't know anything about it, and I thought, whew, that's a challenge, and then I started, and I realized, it's commission, it's door to door, and it was so strange, for me, the most important message I would like to put is for people from abroad, who coming to different countries, and they, majority of my friends and people, they will just take this usual job, and even my Scottish colleagues, but this what inspired me, that I want to be somewhere, somewhere different, I don't want this, factory job and this, this basic job, if you know what I mean. It was just for existing. The job was just for existing, and it was not type of person who I am. So I said, what I'm saying to people from abroad, don't afraid, and it was so, I'm foreigner, and I go into his, and then I going with Matt, I remember my first trainer was Matt Mold, Matthew Mold, and he trained me, how to go through doors. What we did at that time, we used to sell, cavity wall loft insulation. It was through, to make owners, to make houses, warmer, and we did that, and then I just watching to him, and I couldn't stand. I just was, I said, oh, this is a big pressure, and they asked me, how are you feeling, are you okay? And I didn't want to lose the job, so I said, I am all fine, but inside, I was all shaking. I say, that's a big challenge, But I went through, okay, and I started to make sales, and I started to go doors to doors on myself the next day, on my own, and I started to make sales, and I was doing like 5-7 sales a day, and was like, oh, why if I knew that, it happened to, if I knew that this type of business I couldn't done, I probably left the job, 2 years ago, but I didn't knew that job, so I went to that job, and it was good, it was great, I was doing door to door, I was loving it, it was good job. I was top rep, top door canvasser in my office. I was doing also surveys, it was so good, and I was doing this for about 2 years, when I left this company. I opened my own company, and I employ my Lithuanian, my colleagues from Lithuania, you know, was so great, you know, everybody was happy, you know. Hard times were come, you know, and we thought it's so big, you know, and when we moved from Scotland, I bought 4 cars, you know, and we went to England, you know. And then things start to be tough, you know. We were sleeping in cars, you know. It was just break even, you know, end of a time. And I was thinking what to do. All my guys left, you know. Was on my own. I remember I was sleeping near London, you know, thinking, what should I do now? You know, it's so strange, you know. What should I do now? You know, I'm on my own, you know. I left my girlfriend in Scotland, you know. I'm on my own, and I'm thinking what to do, you know. And again, I'm going back to advertises, you know, looking, you know, and in my mind, you know, don't give up, you know, everything gonna be okay. And when I saw the advertise, you know, for a sales job, you know, for solar panels, you know, and at that point, you know, we were looking to go to solar panels, but unfortunately we couldn't find the right path, you know, to it, you know. So I thought, oh, it's interesting, and I applied for several, you know, solar companies, you know, and next day, you know, straight away they called me and they say, would you like to come for an interview? Straight away to interview, I came to Maidstone in Kent, you know, near London. And I started to sell solar panels now, you know, and what I did, you know, I become one of the best salesmen, you know, in my office, you know, if you like, and again, you know, I learned from great guys, you know, great colleagues, you know, who worked with me, you know, but you know, the message I would like to send you, that you know you don't give up, you know, you keep moving forward, you know, and everything gonna be okay, you know. And I'm doing solar panels for 2 years, you know. I have some lands. I bought some lands in Lithuania, and I got a couple bakeries, and we're doing really well, and I'm doing really well here, you know. My girlfriend here, I'm in Scotland now, and it's great, you know. But the message I would like to tell you is that, you know, you don't give up, you know. You don't let people accept you. You don't care what people say, you know. You just go through, and you'll be okay, you know. And you know, that's the message I'm sending. So I will send you a couple more videos, you know, some Nedas Gutauskas.